This episode of the P Street Podcast is brought to you by Blitz Services LLC, providing services for your electrical needs. Ralph and Richard Lujan are also members of La Nueva Generación Weddings, quinces, or just for a good time. Reach out to Ralph and Richard Lujan with Blitz to get your party going. They're also offering golf cart rides at the Cyclone Ballpark for $1 a person. All elderly and handicapped are for free. Hey guys, welcome back to the P Street Fright Nights. Mr. Loa here, man. Another night with you guys. Like loving these nights with you guys, one on one, man. Unfortunately, tonight again, Mr. P couldn't be here, man. He's out of town on a family camping trip with his family, man, and well deserved, man. Also, Smokey Lonjas couldn't be here, man. He had to go get his kiddos, but don't worry, guys. I got two stories for you guys tonight, and they're kind of short and sweet, man. But I'm telling you, these stories are pretty good, man. They're good stories. It actually happened to a good buddy of mine at work, and I'm not gonna say his name. You guys might recognize his voice if you know who he is. There you go. But these are encounters that he got, like he went through, and like he also said there's a lesson to be learned on one of them, and you'll hear from his own perspective. Like this is what we mean when we say sending your stories, record your audio, because the stories have more vibe to them when you guys tell them to us instead of us reading them. But like I said, like this would be our first time that we actually have a Peachtree podcast member to live in his own words, guys. So here we go, man. I'm gonna play these stories for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy them as well, like I did, because I really enjoyed them. So here we go.
Hey, thanks, man, for letting me put this out there for you guys to hear. No me la van a creer. I mean, you think, how this happened to this guy or whatever, but it's real, man. I mean, I learned a real serious lesson with this one day, man.
There you
One
go.
night, actually, of course, I'd be drinking back when I did a lot of that stuff more than what I do now. That's another. But I guess what I want to say is I left my mom's house one night mad. We got in an argument. I got in an argument with the old lady, and my mom was trying to correct me, and I got mad at her, and I didn't cuss her out or nothing, but I talked back to her real bad, and she begged me not to leave, because I'd been drinking a lot, and I left, I peeled out, and a lot of stuff, and well, I go to if y'all know back in the day over there by Walmart, atrás, where we used to go, what they called Justin's Corrals, man. A lot of y'all know that back there, and I'm not trying to put that out there, but I mean, just so y'all know where this took
Yeah,
place.
I think I remember.
I kid you not, man. I stopped, to take a leak, and I shouldn't be saying that, but I did. I had to. I was on my way home to the north side, and I stopped there at Tiral Agua, and man, I get off the truck. I leave the door open to the pickup, and I get off, and I start, whatever. And I could feel that sense somebody's looking, but it's dark,
Oh,
dark, dark. It was before they had that light on there, right, the way they do now. But back then it was dark, and it was always been enclosed, but it was crazy, man. What I could hear like rumble, man, in the back, like como un toro, like
ah, man.
I don't know. I'm not good at sounds, whatever. But Washaloa, el pedo es que I caught my attention, man. I turn around and I'm by myself, man, so I can't actually have somebody verify this with you guys. But I promise you, man. I mean, I wouldn't take the time to make this up, just something like that. But I turned back, dude, and I could see this big old, darker than black looking shadow back in the pasture of that corrals, man. And it's like big, broad shoulders. It looked fuzzy, or furry, or just big black, and it had these eyes, man, on top of its head, on the head looking area. Just
Yeah.
one big old deal. It didn't have a neck or nothing. It's just big, and somehow the arms were real like ape like long, and the legs were a little shorter, but it had it and it was making that noise, and all this is, and I'm just describing it to you so you get an idea of what I was looking at. But it was weird, man. It started making that noise, like I tell you, and it started like kicking, and you could see the dust kick up in the back. I want to say this thing
Oh,
was,
that's
man, a
crazy.
good man, I want to say if it wasn't about a good 50 feet or so, no, about 75 feet back, and I could just dark, and you could see it back by the houses that are over there. Just from the light, it was darker than black, man, and there was some old houses that was back there, and you could. That thing gives chase, man, and it starts taking off. And like I tell you, the door's open to my pickup, man. So I'm not even halfway done zipping up when I could hear this thing slam into the gate, and
Oh man,
it when I turned back, it jumped, and it kept coming, and I drove off, man. I mean, it scared me,
I would have been scared too,
and
bro.
I didn't say nothing, I got home crying. It was weird, and I told Naomi about it, and she tripped out 'cause she never seen me come home like that, and I actually called my mom. And I apologized to her. I told her I was sorry. I don't know. I explained to her what I saw. Of course, been drinking. Well, of course, years later, man, you see TV and you see these stories of like ghost stops or ghost stories or whatever. And, they're talking about on TV, man. They have it drew this picture up or something, man, and it was funny. And that's what Naomi, when I talked to her about it, and it's weird, man. To this day, it gives me chills talking about it because I can tell you the truth, man. That thing, it they drew the exact same thing, man, and it turned out that I
Wow.
forgot. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I have to look, but it's a black. It was ugly and it was had red eyes, man. It gave chase and it growled and snared and I don't know what it would have done had it
Had
had
it
a
caught
chance
you,
to
man.
get me or whatever. Had I not been able, I don't know what,
Wow.
but I think it was there to teach me a lesson, man, and it taught me, not to, to honor. It taught me to honor my mother a little better and respect and not to be doing things that matter, man. But anyhow, it's weird when I seen that show, man. They drew it up and it was a demon, man. So there's
Yeah.
there's things out there in this world that we're not familiar
Totally
with,
aware
man.
with.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
if you don't play right, those things can 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 manifest, man,
Yeah.
and they
Definitely.
come out,
I agree with it.
So just treat your parents right, man.
That's
If
right.
I say that, I'm sorry it took long, but true story, man. Thanks for letting me share it with you, Lo.
Not a problem, man. And guys, so with that being said, that was story number one, man. And man, a lot of times, guys, sometimes our parents don't tell us certain things, like like they'll tell us stuff to like behave. You know what I mean? Like try to scare us, so we can be more obedient, man. But I honestly do believe, man, there's some things out there that, man, that are not no BS, right? Obviously he encountered something that I'm pretty sure it sobered him up the moment he saw that. It made him realize, what he had done wrong, man. I've heard many stories like that, like Mexican folklore, folklore, Uh, I had an incident happen to one of my grandma's sisters. She told me a story one time that we had a tia, one of her sisters, that was very like when she was younger. She was very like, pues, like no se portaba bien. Like what he was. She was always acting up, talking back to my grandpa. My grandma's dad. Great grandpa. And one night I think they told her, si no se síguele portándote mal, and uno de estos se te va a aparecer el diablo. Parents usually tell their kids that to scare them, so they behave and go to bed. And they didn't want to listen, man. And I think one night my grandma says she remembers that her sisters started screaming when they went to the room, and they were there just hugging each other, scared. And my great grandpa was asking them what was going on, what were they screaming about, and she said like, se les había aparecido el diablo, just like he had told them. And so he went and looked outside the window, man, and all they found was like hoofs marks, like somebody was walking away from the window. And they didn't see them, but they just saw the imprints on the ground. Because back in the days, like I said, tierra, people were poor and shit. But yeah, man. So I'd really do believe that there's things out there that we don't know about, and I guess sometimes our Creator allows us to see those things so we can learn a lesson. Well, with that said, guys, I'm gonna play the second story he shared with us. It had to do about a lechuza, man. For y'all people out there that know what lechuzas are, brujas, and so here we go, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and play the second one for you guys.
we had a, I guess you could say like an encounter, I guess, with like a lechuza, man. As a matter of fact, I'm sure it was a lechuza, but as all stories go, man, we was drinking one night and we was passing by the Zaragoza Hall. It was a few
Órale.
years back, man, about 15 years ago, and as everybody does, they cruise around, and there was a baile, and y la raza, everybody just goes to the dances, and drives around to see who's playing and listen to music, and we was having some beers, and it's just me and my wife in the car, and uh, she tells me, pull over. He said, look, there's a bird on that car. It was like a green little Cavalier, man. If I could, back like a little 96, 97 model little Cavalier 4 door, and parked right there by the water tower,
Oh,
behind
yeah,
the
yeah.
Zaragoza Hall.
Yes, sir.
Anyhow, it was funny because the birds on the car, and Naomi gets off, and she's like, and we're drinking, and buzzed out. It's about every bit about one probably, and when you're little, your grandparents, your abuelitos, they tell you, Trusha, be careful, después de esa hora, it's bad to be out la cosa mala, after
Claro.
midnight or
Hey,
whatever,
grandparents always seem
and
to
sure
know that,
enough,
guys,
man,
don't
us
they?
driving around doing bad things, as it would be, and we know how we get off, and she gets off and she tries to take it back is when these flip phones was still coming. That's back in 2000, probably, man, about 2010 or so,
Yeah, the flip
flip phones was
phones.
still around. It was very,
I
that
remember those.
old phones barely had cameras, and we took the picture of
Caller
this,
ID
man.
was all the
And
exciting stuff.
she's trying to take a selfie with this bird, man, and this bird's like nodding its head, doing this thing with its wings, and then I get to looking
Wow.
at it, man, closer, and I tell her, "Quítate," it's a lechuza, man, and she's like,
Yeah.
and she looks, and we're like, oh, dude, it was the feet were diff. It was weird. Once it picked up its wings, it had some different feet, man,
Oh
and it
man.
wasn't saying nothing or doing nothing, but the head was moving real weird. And when we took off, and they say if it's not for you, I hear, it don't do nothing, but if it's for you or something, I guess it laughs or something. I don't know, but
Dang, that's crazy.
anyhow, we've seen a lechuza, man. So those things are real. You know what vindicates it even more for us so much now that there's YouTube, y la chingada.
Yeah.
You ever look up lechuza on YouTube, man? Y vato, let me tell you, one of those brown birds that's in one of those cages in the video, man, that's exactly kind of what we saw. Pero las patas, bro, hijo de su
Oh
vato, that
man.
was a that was something else, man. And it wasn't a bird, man. After that, and then that phone, we lost it or whatever. But a few people saw that video, man. And I mean, so if
Oh
you're hearing
wow,
the
man, that's
story,
crazy.
you'll know what we're talking about. But yeah, esa era una peda, one that we couldn't forget. Thought I'd share with you guys, man. Y so para que sepan la cosa mala it is out there
Oh yeah,
after
definitely.
midnight.
I
So be
agree with you, buddy.
careful, especially if you're drinking.
Definitely. So there you go, guys. Definitely, man. Like even he knows, man. Like lechuzas are for real, man. Brujas are for real. La mala cosa for sure, it's for real. And like I said, there's a lot of things out there that we can't explain. They're supernatural, man, and like appreciate it, buddy, that you were able to share this with us, man. It means a lot. Thank you for allowing us to share it with everybody else from the Peachtree family, and you guys out there, man, that have some similar stories, man. Don't get discouraged, man. Contact one of us, me, Pistol Pete, Smoky Lonjas, man, whoever you guys know better, and send in your stories, man. Like say like it sounds a lot better, guys, when you guys share your stories with us, man, with your own voice. We'll play them, and so everybody can enjoy them, like I know I did tonight's stories. I enjoy everybody's stories, man, because I always get intrigued what everybody else has experienced. I've shared a couple of stories personally, and it's pretty cool to know what's really out there. Everybody is on their own path in life, man, and everybody stumbles upon things sometimes that we can't explain. And it's good. Sometimes it's good for you to like share them, man. Like kind of like withdraw that, you know. those stories you never told anybody, man, share them. Feels good to share them. You know, now with people you realize you're not crazy, you're not the only one. But unfortunately, guys, tonight's gonna be a short one. I just wanted to share these stories with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. Sign up, man. Follow us on P Street Podcast Official. Uh, Give us a thumbs up on this videos, guys. Thumbs up always help us more. And for you new subscribers, thank you for subscribing to us, guys. Appreciate you so much, and thank you for your support. And we'll check you on the next one, guys. Hopefully by then, man, Pistol P will be back and Smoky Lonjas, and we'll have a lot better stories to share with you guys. And for you guys, like I said, send us your stories, man. We appreciate everything you guys send our way. So from here, Mr. Loa signing out. Peace Street Podcast. Check you out, guys. Have a good night. God bless. Peace.